Good evening, Razorbacks. Welcome to another episode of the Hog Talk Podcast, live from the Sterling Soap and Roastery Studios, part of the Believe and Buzz Radio Network, where you can hear us each week on 106.7 in Central Arkansas. All live shows are coming to you by Arkansas Brewing Company in downtown Ozark. I am Porter Hayes, and alongside me, as always, it's Adam Hall. And tonight we will start off season. No specific topics. It's off season leading up to the football year. So, Adam, we'll just jump right into it. Of course, the biggest news locally with the Razorbacks, Oklahoma City Thunder are your 2025 NBA National Champions. Huge congratulations to Jalen Williams and Isaiah Joe. I guess first of all, it was touched on briefly this morning and all over social media, but you got to think the journey that those two kids, now young men, have been through, and how rare it is for two guys to be on the same team, high school, be on the same team, college, and then be on the same pro team. I would really like to see the research, and I didn't listen to much radio today, or I've not been on social media much today, but I'm wondering if that's ever happened. If somebody has shared the same path.
Mm-hmm. That I'm not sure about. Obviously teammates at Northside, they weren't actually at Arkansas at the same time. Isaiah had already left. And then now the Thunder, it's crazy. They've known each other the majority of their lives, boys club, all the way up, to where they are now. It's funny, I played at Northside actually with Jalen's older brothers. And I remember, Jalen was at the majority of our practices, and he was only like 3-4 years old. And it was always funny as he was this little kid, just getting in the way, running around, but he was always there. And then just to come like full circle that he's now in the NBA, he's now won the NBA championship. And I remember when he was just this little kid running around our practices at Northside. Mm-hmm. It's crazy to see. And I love it for this, for Fort Smith, for Northside, for Arkansas, obviously. It's cool to see, it's the talk of the town. Yep. Even when you've got fans or people that, they may not watch NBA all that much, but they watch Thunder games. They're invested in it. They're keeping up with it. And it's one of those things that if the time comes and, Jalen and Isaiah part ways with the Thunder, because NBA is a business, it's inevitable sometimes that this happens. It's rare that somebody stays with one franchise. This is already Isaiah's second team. They're going to be followed because it's one of those that they're not just Arkansas Razorbacks. They're also Arkansans. They're also from Fort Smith. It's they come to town and everybody knows they're here. They support the local businesses. Heck, you go into Northside, you go into the boys clubs, and there's pictures and paintings of them. There's stuff from them donating back. It's just cool to actually see firsthand and see the excitement and the love that the city has for them.
Yeah, and you do worry about that because, you see trades happen, and it's one of those that with the two kind of being role players, Jalen more so of a presence at OKC than Isaiah. Isaiah could be that one that could just what we call, catching a stray. They throw him in a package with somebody else, or him, star player, and then a first round draft pick. Because you look at the team, this team is very young, and you look at the draft picks they have coming up the next 3-4 years, going into, I want to say 30, 31. They could build a dynasty. And I do want to really go down this rabbit hole of, I think it's really unfair that just because they're in the OKC market, just because, everybody is like, oh, this about Halliburton, which, man, that was brutal for him to go down. But, just because it's Oklahoma City and not everybody watch, I think it's very unfair to give them criticism of, a small market team did win. Mm-hmm. It is, so what? And that's the thing. This team, what if this team uses their draft picks wisely and they build a dynasty? You talk about a team that could build to be something. Just because they're not that, the Lakers or Celtics or the Bulls now, they could be that. And I really think that it's unfair that they get drug into that. They won their games. And yes, there's going to be a lot of people that they already saying, well, we're going to put an asterisk next to this championship. Well, it's still a championship.
Mhm.
And they have a great squad. They have great draft picks. So there's not a, it's weird. We talked to our friend over at Rally House, and they're trying to get Oklahoma City Thunder gear at the store in Fort Smith. This is going to be one of them things where this is going to help catch fire. And once people start converging on it, you look regionally, you have the Mavericks, and then you have the Grizzlies. St. Louis don't have a team. Kansas City doesn't have a team. So you got to go all the way at Denver, Chicago, Indiana. I mean, there's nothing. So they're in a prime spot to really catch a lot of fans, and this championship could really help that.
The whole small market thing. The only thing I look at is viewership. Just because, I mean, it's a fact that you're not going to have as high a viewership, but the ones that are truly basketball and NBA fans are going to watch no matter who's playing. Doesn't matter the market, small or large. The thing that I think hurts Oklahoma City when it comes to market is just going to be, kind of talent to an extent. Obviously, they've done great with what they had. They have a young core, all the draft picks that they can use in multiple ways, whether it's trades, whether it's developing or drafting and developing younger talent. I do think at some point, the biggest question that surrounds Oklahoma City is going to be when SGA signs his next contract, because he's been projected for a while to be the first $400 million contract in the NBA. And that's just, a lot of people hear that and they kind of they balk at it, but that's where the market is heading. Just like in the NFL, anytime it's a new quarterback contract, they're the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. We keep hearing that time and time again until the next quarterback signs his contract. So that's just where SGA is at in the realm of when his contract is due. That's where the market will be at. So Oklahoma City is just going to have to look at, if we pay this, what are we going to have to get rid of? Because that's a real discussion that's going to be had. I think they'll be all right. They've got a new arena that's coming around 2029-ish, somewhere around there. That's going to be huge for them. We know that with the NBA expansion that's going to be happening, which I believe this summer they're going to officially vote on. I know that Las Vegas and Seattle are the respected places that it's probably going to end up. So the Seattle will get the Supersonics back. Oklahoma City has already said that they are giving the city of Seattle, if they ever get a team again, they're getting their history back, which I'm all for. And if you want to, go down another little rabbit hole, let's think about, Oklahoma City. They brought in the Supersonics, changed them to the Thunder. All that happened because of the love that Oklahoma City gave the Hornets after Katrina. And, they moved them there, Chris Paul, all that. And they saw that team was actually, they were in talks to play in Little Rock. That New Orleans team after Katrina. It didn't happen because of Memphis being so close to the Grizzlies. And I just think back, me and some friends talk about that from time to time. And to me, that's a big what if. What if they had put that New Orleans team while they were displaced in Little Rock at Simmons? Would we be looking at, that an NBA franchise in Little Rock? Because then you get down into, you've got Memphis right there. That would be a bit difficult when you look at the markets. And it's one of those that kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's great for Oklahoma City. It's great for Oklahoma. It's great for fans here. They have a team that they can go watch just a few hours away. It's looking up. They've reached their peak. So now or not their peak. They've reached the top. So now it's just, are you going to keep rolling with it? What do you do next? Because it's inevitable after you win an NBA championship, you're going to lose players. It's just a matter of who can they keep and who's going to go and what's next for them.
Yeah, I was looking at the contracts. Jalen Williams is on his rookie contract, 20 million over 4 years, and then Isaiah Joe signed a $48 million contract.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's one of them that, well, you see Isaiah Joe limited playing time, big. I mean, that's a big hit if they can move him around to free up. But then again, you're looking at your draft pick. So, I mean, they with the way basketball is, I mean, you can draft two rookies and they really help out what you have, and you're not spending a lot of money. I think what will help both of these guys is they have somebody like SGA. You're not having to trade away 2 or 3 of your guys. Look at Kevin Durant,
Mhm.
and going to the Rockets. You're having to trade away 4 or 5 of your guys to bring in a superstar. Well, you have, the other Jalen Williams, you
Mhm.
have SGA, then you have Chet Holmgren on top of Jalen Williams and Isaiah Joe. So you could really stick with what you got and just draft, and there's your bench.
Mhm.
But we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of buzz going around, so we don't know if anything. I mean, any of these players could not be back next year. But I think, them being in Oklahoma City, being a 3.5 hour drive from Fort Smith, just seeing the local kids getting a championship and adding another Arkansas that now has an NBA ring.
Oh, definitely. And it's cool seeing, the boys clubs and the schools take their students, take their athletes out there. I see a bunch of parents, posting on social media that I know that, go out to those games. It's cool to see. I mean, we were seeing it before Isaiah and Jalen got there a little bit, but you're seeing it so much more now.
Mhm.
And, it's one of those things too that if you got there this season or before, that's awesome because you know the ticket sales are going to go up, ticket prices,
Yep.
especially when that new arena gets built. And that's just the unfortunate side of all this. But it's, right now, live it up, soak it in, because after the summer, you're basically come August when you have preseason starting, you're right back in it. And
Yeah.
I know that, just for firsthand conversations, like Isaiah he doesn't travel much because he travels during the season. And I guarantee you within the next few days to a week, he's already going to be back in the gym, putting up shots, getting ready for next season. Cause in his words, that's what he gets paid to do.
Yeah.
So he doesn't travel. He doesn't go out. He's not the celebrity that you see in the sports world. I get paid to shoot. And so
Well, you
that's
see
what,
Jalen trying to drink a beer last night, so
and shout out, I posted that video thinking like maybe if it was Goat Labs,
yeah.
NIL, Arkansas Beer, Tusk or whatever, but he wanted something a little bit different. But yeah, it was too funny to not post.
Oh yeah. And speaking Isaiah Joe, and we'll plug this between now and the end of August, but Saturday, August 23rd at Northside, Isaiah Joe basketball shooting camp will be presented by Fort Kids Museum. The cost is $50 a player. They're having 2 sessions. Session one will be ages 6 to 9, 9 a.m. to 12, $50 per player. And then session two will be that afternoon, 2 to 5:30, 75 a player, ages 10 to 14. So have a meet and greet with Isaiah Joe. So between now and August, they're going to sell out. And I'm sure it was a huge hit last year. So we'll be plugging that between now and August. But take note now, and I'm saying this now because if you head over we'll post the link after the show. If you want to go there, there's limited spots available. So it will be at Northside High School gym. Get in on the action. Signups will be starting Friday, the 27th. So this Friday, the signups will begin. So we'll post that link. Everybody go sign up. And I think it's going to be a very, very good cause. It's for the Isaiah Joe Family Foundation. So big things going on, get more people involved. And I'm telling you what, there's going to be a waiting list, I guarantee, because the Rivers brothers, Austin, Reeves brothers
Mhm.
just had, I don't know why I said Rivers. I was thinking of
Doc Rivers.
Rivers' son. Yeah. The Reeves had their camp and huge turnout statewide. So that's another thing that can be, you see it in Fort Smith and go to other cities. So be sure to check that out Friday. Tickets or not tickets, you can sign up for that on Friday. But we switched subjects. Now we're at the point everybody talks about, what off season and the top tens and the Mount Rushmores and all these things. And The big talk now, I think it's Lowell. The heartbreak of how you lost, and then what we talked about on Thursday was, man, there's really nothing to look forward to. Like, all right, up next football. And, it's one of them things that I really wish there was promising, more promises from the football team that you had something to look forward to with what's going to happen. Do they have a chance to hang with Notre Dame? Can they go on a run? And you look at the schedule and it's brutal. And I mean, already hearing excuses of, well, look at the schedule. And, we can only see 5 or 6. If he gets to 6, he should keep his job. But you've had so much time to build your roster. You've had so much time to know that you're playing Notre Dame. You have so much time knowing that you're playing in the SEC. I think that the excuses need to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? If you keep making the excuses, then we're going to be in the same boat the following season if nothing gets better.
Well, it's talking about that, what's coming up, what's this, what's that. I believe last night on HQ Live, Transplant and Texan here made a comment because, we were talking about the baseball and the fans and the overreactions, if you will, and people being in their fields, which again, you're allowed that. And he brought up a point that, the same people that are calling for DVH's head are the same ones that are congratulating a Liberty Bowl win,
Mm-hmm.
or that are happy
Absolutely.
about going, and it's just, it's like we've talked about I don't want to use the word true because I hate the people that are there when they're like true fan this, real fan that. But like we talked about, there's a Arkansas baseball fan that through and through, that's their passion. That's what they're. Yes, they're still Arkansas football fans and Arkansas basketball fans, but first and foremost, they're Arkansas baseball fans. They are kind of in their own category in that sense. And a lot of them, I mean, they're the ones that are out the hog pen week in, week out. And I'm not saying they're limited to that, but it's just that kind of time of year where it's just like, what do we do? What do we talk about? What are we looking into? Do we take a break from sports for a little bit? Because I mean, right now you've got Major League Baseball.
No.
Or I don't even know if NASCAR's going on right
you got
now. Or
the Savannah Banana Ball coming in.
Yeah. So you've got that stuff. You got this would be the time of year that I feel like ESPN the Ocho would be primed to have just all these random sports and games and like, hey, we don't have anything else to watch, so let's go watch cornhole. Let's go watch dodgeball. Let's go watch whatever else. We're just kind of scrapping. This is the time of year that like I'm itching for news on NFL uniform changes and because stuff like that I just enjoy, which I know come July we'll start getting more into depth chart possibilities and practice and whatnot. But like right now, it's just kind of like, what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
And
the
now
lull is what we talk about is it's about the standard. What's the standard for Arkansas baseball? Omaha. They met the standard this year. I know there's a lot of people that are going to say choke this. He didn't win the big one, but they are still meeting the standard. They are getting to Omaha. Yes, they didn't make it the last couple years, but you still have the team where you can make it to Omaha, and they did it. They met the standard. You're stuck in now a football season of where the standard is mediocrity, 6 wins. That is the standard right now because you can't surpass it. Now, if Arkansas baseball wins a national championship and they keep going to Omaha, now it's going to be like the standard's changed. Look at LSU baseball. The standard is winning a national championship, and congratulations to them because I will say this. I will go down this little rabbit hole before our break. I was more upset about the whole referee thing and the coach getting ejected because either or it takes away from LSU winning the national championship. Because now everybody's talking about that and not the fact, because you know what? That was bottom of the first. LSU probably still would have won the game. It wouldn't change nothing with the game. But, yes, I am kind of taking up for LSU. It's the fact that you work so hard. It is the hardest national championship to win out of the big three. And for the limelight to get taken away for an ump that blew his mind, he ran in, and there's a lot of people saying the bump. What I seen was the other ref pushing, and then he tripped. There's a lot of people that didn't really see the stiff arm that the home plate umpire gave him, and he tripped, and he said bump. But that was the story. And if Coastal Carolina would have won and whatever, you're taking away from that. So I do feel bad for the LSU fan base because, you're going up there, spending 2 weeks in Omaha. The players are supers, super regionals, super regionals, then Omaha. And for that to get taken away off of that, I did not like that when it was clearly on the ump that wanted to make it about him. And the guy had been fired and from the Major League were released. I don't know if we can say he was fired. He was released. Why is he in that position to coach that important of a game? If he had issues of being a hothead, he had issues of his anger management, what say you? He should have never been in that position.
I was thinking about it, and I asked the guys this question last night, and I'll ask you as well. So, would you feel any difference about LSU winning, or I guess we'll say Arkansas losing, LSU beating Arkansas, if Coastal Carolina had won the title?
No, I'm not that type of fan. And this might rub some people the wrong way, but you're being a sore loser if then you turn around and like, well, I hope LSU loses. To me, it's like they beat Arkansas fair and square. You had the lead twice. You gave it up. LSU won. It sucked how the game ended. It sucked how the season ended. But to me, I'm not going to then go and turn and root for Coastal Carolina because I want to see LSU lose that bad. It makes it me of what I'll say is they should reseed the tournament because in no way, shape, or form should the 3-6 be on the same side and the 8-13 be on the other side. That's what I'll say. Mm-hmm. And then Arkansas and LSU would have faced in the finals, and the same outcome would have probably happened. But no, I don't sit there, and I'm glad LSU won because they beat Arkansas, and I just don't know what the saltiness of if Coastal Carolina, then guess what? You're just throwing another what if out there. Well, if we would have been against Coastal Carolina, we would have won. You might have, but you got to take care of what's in front of you because all you're doing is masking or making yourself feel better because of what happened against LSU. I just can't go that route. I've never done that in anything. I just think that it's a coping mechanism that people do because they're so upset about how the season ended. And that's their right. I'm not calling them idiots or anything like that. It's just, I don't go that route.
It's definitely something. I mean, I'm just the type of person that I think about the what ifs, but I don't let them overtake opinions and whatnot. I overthink the majority of things. I'm one of those people that if you say, hey, we need to talk later, I'm going to sit there and think about that until we talk. Like in my head, I'm going to play out that conversation 800 different ways. And some of that's just like me preparing myself for the worst.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, because I'm that same where I didn't pay attention. I didn't watch any of the championship. I saw the thing about the coaches being ejected. I didn't know until after the fact that LSU had won, like well after the fact. It was one of those Arkansas lost. I had no interest anymore. I didn't care. I would find out who won and be done with it. But, I did start running through like, hey, well, what if Coastal Carolina would win? How would people feel? But then I start spiraling into, well, what if we had gone for the double play and not to third? What if we did? I start backtracking into, and you can't do that because even the end of the Arkansas LSU game, to me, it's not on any one person because there are multiple things that happened before that point with Davalon in the outfield. Mm-hmm. There's multiple things that happened that could have changed the outcome of the game. Yeah. So you can't blame any one person. And it's one of those things that in any other sport, any other game, I mean, hell, going back to because this still is burned into my soul. Bo Nix's fumble that wasn't a
That's the
fumble.
only one that is.
But like I look at things, don't put the game in the hands of a referee. And you have to do things before that as a player, as a team, to not let it get to that point. And so we can play the what if game about everything. I mean, you can go back to 2018. What if we had caught that fly out? Would we still have a curse? I mean, it's
maybe not.
do we have a curse? I actually had a friend. He wanted me to do some investigative journalism and find, because him and I both will admit that when it comes to Arkansas football, basketball, we don't consider ourselves historians, but we know a lot about it. But then baseball, it's kind of like we're really kind of limited in that history just because we're not as into baseball as the other sports. And he put it on me to dig and backtrack and try to find what happened in baseball that started this, or was it did we sell our souls to win the 94 championship and that's why everything else has happened the way it's happened? And so it's just we're trying to find if there's one moment before 2018, because we're not trying to we think it started before that.
What if it was the fact that you sold your soul? You took a chance on a coach like Bobby Petrino who left his team in the middle of the season, and then the red
DP brought up last night the way Nolan getting fired like he did.
Yeah.
There's multiple things. We were trying to think of if it was baseball or was it athletics as a whole, or the big three at least outside, because track is track.
It's weird because you can have a case for both, because only because nobody's been that close to where now. But then again, you look at the stuff like the North Carolina game and the basketball against North Carolina. Was that part of the curse? There's been some football instances of like the game against Florida and the refs and stuff, that Bo Nix fumble. That's the one that I always say, because again, it directly cost the game because at that point in time, clock ran out, but yeah, it's one of them. I think there is some kind of off feng shui going on, if you want to call it a curse or not, but it's one of them. I think it's going to take a national championship and something to give the fans relief. All right, the curse is over. Whether you want to say they never win another national championship in no other sport ever again, it's just the fact that will be the equivalent of the Red Sox winning the World Series.
Oh yeah,
that's what it would be like. And so, but real quick before we go to a quick break, concerning Pro Hogs, Daniel Gafford has signed an extension with the Mavs. It is close. I lost it. I think it was $60 million that he signed. Let me go back to the ESPN app. It just come through. 60, nearly 3-year contract, nearly $60 million. That would be a negotiated deal through the 28-29 season. So
I'll just share this. Somebody just sent to gentlemen. It says 4 NBA champs in 4 seasons.
That's pretty cool.
It's one of those that they were his players. He's gone on, but the fact remains is he brought them in.
Yeah, so, you can't take that away from him. He was a more higher version of a Mike Anderson, because I just think he got in his own way. I think if he would have been he would have calmed down and not been such a hothead, and maybe really listened to the players and was more of a coachable person, maybe that would happen. I don't know. But Mike Anderson never had a losing season, and you've seen what happened. Then Brett Bielema, what happened? We keep on talking about this mediocrity thing. That's what Mike Anderson, Brett Bielema did, but Mike Anderson had a little bit more success. But we knew the basketball program could be so much more, because a lot of NBA talent was going out the door. A lot of people, and even with Musselman, we are getting the good in-state talent, and you see what he has got. But look what Cal's done just in this short time, and what we're getting in the future. If you're wanting to be elite, Musselman was a great coach for Arkansas, but now we're at elite level. We need to get to that Dave Van Horn level, and I think that's what Cal's going to do. Now let's see if they can get us a national championship.
Yep. Time will tell.
But we're going to take a quick commercial break, hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll wrap it up. Talk a little bit of football, what we can look forward to coming into this season outlook. We'll be right back after the break. Searching for premium brewery products that will take your daily routine to the next level? Look no further than Sterling Soap Company. Our handmade soaps, aftershaves, and balms are made with only the finest ingredients that give you the ultimate grooming experience. With a variety of scents to choose from, there's something for everyone. Plus, our products are crafted in small batches to ensure the highest level of quality. So why wait? Visit www.sterlingsoap.com or visit our retail store at 16 West Walnut Street in Paris, Arkansas. Shop our collection and discover the difference for yourself. Upgrade your grooming routine with Sterling Soap Company. Are you looking for a place to grab a cold drink and some delicious food? Look no further than Arkansas Brewing Company. Located at 201 South 1st Street in beautiful downtown Ozark, our establishment offers a wide selection of craft beers and tasty eats. But what sets us apart is our welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. At Arkansas Brewing Company, you'll always feel like part of the family. So visit Destiny and Christopher Brockett and staff today and see for yourself what makes us the go-to spot for locals and visitors alike. Arkansas Brewing Company, come for the drinks and stay for the friends. Attention DIYers and home improvement enthusiasts. Are you searching for the right tools and the supplies to tackle your next project? Look no further than Mentor's Hardware Store. With locations in Ozark, Alma, and Clarksville, our vast selection of hardware and building materials is sure to have everything you need. Whether you're fixing a leaky faucet or building a new deck, plus our knowledgeable staff is always on hand to offer expert advice and guidance. And with our competitive prices and convenient online ordering, Mentor's Hardware Store is your one-stop shop for all your DIY needs. Visit us today and let's build something amazing together. Are you looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than ATU Ozark Campus. As a 2-year satellite campus of Arkansas Tech University, we're dedicated to a quality workforce education, industry partnerships for in-demand jobs, and tailored paths for success. Our programs are led by industry professionals. Whether it's a certificate or you're aiming for a graduate degree, ATU Ozark has you covered. Visit our website at www.atu.edu/Ozark or contact us at 479-667-2117. Your future begins here. Welcome to Ozark Area Chamber of Commerce, where our mission is simple: encourage, promote, and aid an enduring environment of shared economic opportunity and civic development for the Ozark, Arkansas area. Whether you're a local business owner or a resident, we've got something for you. Shop our unique local businesses, explore the beauty of Ozark, and savor local flavors and find cozy accommodations. Join us in building a stronger community. And to learn more, contact us at 479-667-2525. Remember, together we thrive. And welcome back to the Hog Talk podcast. Just got word, Zane Becker, catcher from Arkansas, has hit the portal. He was the 4th rated catcher out of Texas and the 34 overall prospect in the class of 2024. He posted on X that he has 3 years of eligibility and to contact his advisor. He has hit the portal. Numerous other players will, but I do. While we're on the baseball topic, something I don't know, Adam, I'm sure y'all touched on this last night, but, Golden Spikes award winner, Aloy, and Bree Ellis, first time that has ever happened, having the 2 top players in softball and baseball in the same year. So you want to give huge congratulations to those 2 in Arkansas. I mean, that is something that no other team, no other program has been able to say. So big shout out to Aloy for winning the Golden Spikes Award. And of course, Bree Ellis, who's already tearing it up in the AUSL with the Talons. And Adam, you pulled a 101.
Yes.
That you will eventually get autographed by Bree. Mm-hmm. We reached out and after the season, we'll get you that autograph when she gets back into Fayetteville.
To know in the post there's already some like how much you want for it, how much, this is one of those that you see in other sports, especially football, your one-on-ones and the ridiculous prices that they go for. And I've got a decent sized, Arkansas card collection, and this one will be front and center. This will not be one that to get rid of. So it was cool. You know, I always kind of I see all these other people, whether it's in breaks, posts online, whatever, that pull these 101s, and I'm just always, you know, petty me. You know, I'm just like, you know, what the heck? Like, I'm never that lucky, and I'm just sitting here opening up these boxes, and boom, it was a 101, and I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
you know. So it was cool, especially, you know, being Bria's card I'll keep. So it was pretty awesome. You know, going back to them winning their awards, obviously, either one of them, they would trade that award for a national championship.
Oh yeah.
I will say to the SEC network, do better when it comes to your social media posts, because when you posted about Aloy, you said he was the only the second Razorback to win the Golden Spikes, leaving out Kevin Copps, and you putting out that Aloy and
Well, Kevin played for Arizona.
You
He played
know
for
that's
Arizona.
probably what it
That's
was.
the reason why.
But it just, you know, it baffles me at times that like these networks, media come like, this is what you get paid to do. You know, the Arkansas, Arizona, Alaska abbreviation thing gets on all, like, it's comical at this point, even though people still get mad about it. We take the national championship over it, but at the same time, congratulations to both of them. You know, Aloy's going to be top 20-ish pick in the MLB draft. I don't know where the polls are saying now, or the projections are going at it now. And for those that don't know, also, you know, you bringing up what is the
AUSL.
Hey, you know, we see time and time again the jokes for people like, hey, if there was a professional softball league, we'd watch that over WNBA. Well, first off, you wouldn't, so stop saying that because you think that you're funny. Second off, there is professional softball, and they have reached an agreement with the MLB in a partnership. So I expect that league to expand. I'm not going to say terribly quickly, but there will be expansion that it will be coming with the Major League Baseball partnership. And, you know, it's cool to see. You know, you had Bree that was drafted 2 overall, I believe. It's cool. It's you want to watch professional softball, there's your chance. I know most of it's just streaming and stuff online at this point, but for the fact that they have struck this deal with the MLB, you're going to start seeing it on various networks. So I'm here for it.
And
this is one thing too. You know, they used to do the Golden Spikes Award in a whole set presentation and whatnot. Maybe not as big and elaborate as the Heisman. But y'all, ESPN, NCAA, whoever, y'all did a pretty piss poor job when it came to presenting this award, like it was a high school award or something. I mean, it was very lackluster, and these players deserve, you know, the same bit of, I feel like, respect as the other sports. No, it's not going to get necessarily the same viewership. I'm not asking you to put it on in prime time on a Monday night, but these guys deserve more than they were given.
Yeah, it's sad to see, you know, again, because one of the best players to put on a Razorback uniform, you know, and to join that royalty of Golden Spikes Awards winners, you know. And then, yeah, that's just like they've dropped the ball so much with Arkansas. And there's been a lot of people saying that, what are they against Arkansas? You're talking about curses. And it's like, you can go to this. Why do they keep messing this up? And especially the most successful program out of the 3, you think is, you know, Dave Van Horn and what he's been able to do for Arkansas, you would be more on top of these players. And for them to drop the ball the way they did numerous times by numerous commentators, you know, so do better. And again, maybe they were in off-season mode already too. So, but we'll wrap the show up. Hot Springs Wise Guys dropped 45-41 to the Ozarks Lunkers in Hot Springs. Now the 2-2 on the season, and they go up to rematch right next week against the Ozarks Lunkers. One of them, Adam, that it doesn't, to me, and this is no disrespect, or I'm saying they're going to be the worst team in the league, but this would be one of the things that, win or lose, this is a fun thing to watch. I can't wait for more people to catch on, and they already doubled their attendance from the first game. More people, if you're in the Hot Springs area or you're in Central Arkansas, head down there for a game. They'll be back in a couple of weeks, I believe. I don't have the schedule pulled up, but
I believe they're like around July 19th and then the week after that.
But definitely going to try to make another game before the season ends. And then depending on how well they do, they might even make the playoffs. So big shout out to Chris Goodman and all his staff down there, Trip, which we had on the show, and Zach Edwards. They are putting together a good little program down there. So I want to give them a shout out each week. And also we'll start keeping up more with Fort Smith Marshals, the baseball team in Fort Smith. They're, I believe, 7-17 on the year. Having kind of struggling to start out the gate this year, but that a fundamental league, it's so hard. You never know. I mean, you get players 2 weeks before the season, and then you're going into that setting. So we'll definitely do that more throughout the summer. But yeah, it's off season. We're still going to come to 2 times a week. We're going to bring you some different topics. We're going to talk about the normal stuff. As more things come in. I know around the 4th of July, Hootens comes out, the official start of Arkansas high school football. So just be looking out. If you're not following us on our YouTube channel, our TikTok page, Instagram, head over there, give us a like, follow, download our podcast. New things going on with our shows where we're more engaged on our downloads of our podcast. So if you're fans, you're watching live, please go download the show, download the podcast, give us a 5-star rating. Adam, you got anything else before we wrap it up?
No, just like on the podcast. I mean, you don't even have to, once you like and subscribe, it'll automatically download for you.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Set it and forget it in the old words of Ronco or whatever that.
Oh yeah. The set it and forget it.
Yeah. The infomercial.
What we used to have to watch at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Man, if you wanted background noise, it was those commercials. I mean, whatever microwave cooking devices,
the
Ronco,
CDs, the music tapes that would come out. You'd wake up at 2 in the morning.
Your kids or grandkids, however old you are, just find YouTube videos of it and let them have at it.
Well, that will do it for this episode of the Hog Talk Podcast. Again, coming to you every Monday, Thursday, Hog HQ live every Sunday, 8:05. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll catch you on Thursday.